Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here and talking to me tonight. I really want to get into so many things. I think you're doing so much good work right now, but now we're taping this before the final presidential debate airs.
Yeah.
But if you could look into the future, what do you think your reaction will be to tonight's debate?
I think I'm going to be in the other room screaming into the TV room, what's happening? Because I'm so anxious about all this. It happened in the last debate too. That fool started screaming and talking over everybody, and I had to walk out. It was just made me too upset and anxious.
That was one of the worst
so that's
things.
what I did. I said, just kept doing, how we doing? How we doing? And then I just stayed out. And that's what I'm going to do tonight too.
Because we obviously have to watch it because we have to make jokes about this, afterwards.
Right.
And it's like, I still have a crick in my neck from that because it was like watching two people get into an argument for an hour or 2 hours. 2 hours? I go, this is the worst thing I ever had to watch. I go,
it was
it
bad.
stressed me out. I'm so happy this is the last one tonight.
Yeah, me too.
But you've gotten to know Vice President Biden personally over the past few years. When did you first meet him?
I first met him. I first really met him when I was doing Veep, and we were in D.C. and he invited me to the White House for lunch.
No.
And and I have to tell you, it was so. I was so excited, and so I had such butterflies. And I got there, and it was in his office, by the way. It was in his office.
Gosh.
And so I know. And then the waiter came in and he said, what would you like? And he presented with a menu. And I couldn't eat because I was so overcome that I was even there, right?
Of course.
And so I said, okay, well, I'll just have that sandwich, I'm not really thinking. And then Joe goes, oh no, you should get the crab cakes too. Bring in the crab cakes too. And then the next thing I know, I got these 2 huge plates of food. And it's just me, Joe Biden, sitting there. And I need to make a dent in both of these meals. And I was like dry mouth, that kind of nervousness. Anyway, but he couldn't have been nicer. Yeah, it was crazy. And then he had to go to some meeting after this. And he says, I got to go to a meeting. I'm going to go in the motorcade. You want to ride in the motorcade? I was like, yeah, I want to ride in the motorcade.
You're kidding me.
No.
You're in the car with him?
I took a picture of it. I think you guys may have it. But anyway, yeah. Oh. Yes. That's the motorcade. That's the motorcade. Isn't that neat?
At the DNC, you got to speak at the DNC, which is talk about pressure right there. But
no kidding.
You told this story about the time that Vice President Biden called you after your cancer diagnosis.
Yes, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and this is, I guess it's a little over 3 years ago now, and he called, and of course, his beloved son, Beau, had struggled with this disease. And so he was very well connected to doctors. He knew this hospital and that group and this research team and blah, 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 blah. And so he was calling me to talk to me about who my doctors were and how could he help and should he put me in touch with this, that, and the other. And it was just so beyond the beyond in terms of kindness, for real. It was just, astoundingly thoughtful. And
wow,
I couldn't get him off the phone, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, you got it. Don't you have to run the country?
You have things to do, buddy.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, he really wanted to talk to me about sort of my medical plan and how I was going to do it and blah, blah, blah. It was incredibly sweet. And needless to say, that's certainly not the reason he has my support, but it is emblematic of the thoughtfulness and the kindness that is a part of his personality, which is sorely missing right now in the White House.
There have been countless comparisons between the current presidency and your show, Veep. But I think I agree with you. I think I know what you're going to say, but it's almost like what's happening couldn't even be written in Veep because it's too ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, it's one of the reasons we ended the show because
Is that right?
because the Trump administration was sort of out out Veeping us at every moment. They were doing a better version of our show, except that it wasn't even remotely funny. But they really were. And I mean, I can tell you that if my writers had put into a script some of the shenanigans that this guy is up to these days, I would have said, guys, not plausible. Nobody's going to believe it. It's too broad. It's too cartoony.
Exactly.
You know.
There's so many things. You go, there's no way. This is real. But yeah,
I know.
if you wrote in a script, you go, that's too far-fetched.
Too far-fetched for sure.
You had a great tweet after there was a video of Trump dancing at a rally that went viral, and he was doing this thing, and you said, first of all, he stole Veep, now he's stealing from Seinfeld. It's like, oh my God,
yeah,
so good. By the way,
Melania deserves an Emmy for acting like she's attracted to this.
How did you come up with that dance, by the way? I know everyone probably asked you about this, but how? Who is it? It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
This is how it happened. The writers wrote this script. I got it the night before the table read, right? And it said, Elaine dances weird, but they didn't say how or anything. So I thought, so I got in front of the mirror and I tried out a couple of movements that I thought looked horrible.
Yeah.
And then I came down to the kitchen and my husband was there and my mom was visiting at the time. And I said, okay, guys, tell me which one of these is worse. And I did it for them. And they chose that one, and that's the one that I did in the show. And the thing that most people don't know is that, of course, there's music playing when you watch that episode, and Elaine is dancing to music. But when we actually shot it, we couldn't play music because all of a sudden those herky-jerky movements would have been to the beat. I couldn't separate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd be too on rhythm. Yeah. Oh, God.
And it had to be completely off rhythm. And that's just a way of me defending myself, so you don't think that I really dance like that. I actually do have a little bit of rhythm.
No, yeah.
Not tons, but I've got it.
Well, that must be, do people ask you to do the dance all the time? Like, hey, do the dance, come on.
Yes, they do. Yeah, and I don't do it. I don't do it, but I can tell you if I go to like a wedding or something where there's dancing and I hit the dance floor, I feel all eyes on me. It's a very self-conscious thing. And so there's massive pressure to really
no, that was a big
move
I did, guys.
Like I know what I'm doing.
And then you go, oh, this is not fun. Everyone's staring. It's so, oh my gosh.
I know.
Speaking of Seinfeld, you're planning a mini reunion for a fundraiser happening tomorrow night. I want to talk about that when we come back. Is that cool?
Great.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on.